You don't understand. There are international ramifications to these things.
The way Hollywood has portrayed Tin Pan Alley over the years is the subject of a special feature by John Benson in Radio 2's Star Sound Extra on Thursday evening, when John unearths some musical nostalgia with a look at the movie's relationship with the big dance bands, including Harry James. Star Sound Extra is on Radio 2 on Thursday evening at 10:30. Well, here on BBC One now, the news headlines from Ian Webster.
BL Shop stewards have rejected the company's latest pay offer. At a meeting in Birmingham, they voted to throw out the package and continue the strike, even if it does put jobs at risk. But the engineering workers' leader, Terry Duffy, says the offer should be accepted. He feels there's nothing to be gained from a lengthy strike. The company itself has paid for big advertisements in the daily papers to urge the same. The workers themselves will decide on the offer tomorrow at mass meetings. The British Steel Corporation say another 750 jobs will have to go by the end of March. The plants affected are Port Talbot and Llanwern in South Wales. The cutback was announced after record production figures were released for Llanwern. Meanwhile, the corporation chairman, Mr. Ian McGregor, has told the CBI's annual conference that today's dole queues are the result of a decade of national indulgence. The Soviet submarine that's been stuck on a mudbank in Swedish waters has at last been towed off, but not set free. Tugs came to her rescue after the crew sent out SOS signals because of heavy gales. The captain has now returned to the submarine after explaining to the Swedish authorities how he sailed into restricted waters. There was a small explosion near the Royal Navy survey ship Hecate in the French port of Nantes. An organisation calling itself the Bobby Sands Group after the dead Northern Ireland hunger striker says it planted the device, but no one was hurt. Foreign Secretary Lord Carrington was booed and heckled by Tory pro-Israeli supporters tonight over his support for the Saudi Arabian plan for the Middle East. The jeers came at a meeting in London when he said the Palestine Liberation Organisation had to be included in any talks on a lasting peace. Lord Carrington flies to Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Finally, police investigating the robbery of more than £1 million from a bank in the south of France believe the gang used a child or a midget to squeeze into the narrow vault. All they found at the scene were a few coins and some very small footprints. Well, that's the news tonight. Good night.
Now on BBC One, Speak for Yourself, which this week shows you how to make an appointment.
Everyone shouting, everything's loud. Everyone wants to stand out in a crowd, in high-rise heaven, and super speed trains. Everyone's trying to trap me and sing, so I know what you're feeling. But don't look at me, you've got to feel free to speak for yourself.
Hello, I'm Isla St. Clair. Now, we talked before about names, first names and surnames, the British naming system. So this is just a quick reminder. Whenever you need to give your name, make sure that the other person knows which is your first name and which is your surname. Spell your surname if it's a difficult one. And you might also be asked if you're a Mr., Mrs. or Miss. If you're a man, it's Mr. If you're a married woman, it's Mrs. If you're single, it's Miss. You'll need this information if you want to make an appointment, and that's what this week's show is all about, making appointments.
We all have to make an appointment at some time. An appointment with the doctor. An appointment at the Social Security office. An appointment with the optician. Here's John Albert. I think he's going to need to make an appointment with the dentist.
Oh, John, it's the middle of the night. What's the matter?
I can't sleep. I've got toothache.
Toothache? Oh, John, not again.
It's awful.
Well, you'll have to make an appointment with the dentist.
I'll phone him tomorrow.
You always say that when you've got toothache, but as soon as the toothache goes away, you say, oh, well, never mind.
I will this time. Oh.
You promise?
I will. Oh, it's awful. I'll phone tomorrow and make an appointment.
Mr. Morris's surgery, good morning.
I want to make an appointment to see the dentist.
Can I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Albert. A-L-B-E-R-T, Albert. John Albert.
John Albert. Have you been to Mr. Morris's surgery before?
Yes, I have, a long time ago, 2 years.
You should visit your dentist every 6 months, Mr. Albert.
Yes, I know.
What about Wednesday, 3rd December at 3 o'clock?
That's in 3 weeks' time.
Mr. Morris is very busy. That's the earliest he can see you.
Yes, but 3 weeks, that's a long time.
That's the best I can do for you.
Oh.
So, it's Wednesday, 3rd December at 3 o'clock.
Wednesday, 3rd of December at 3 o'clock.
Goodbye, Mr.